So up to now we have talked about, okay. So everyone, up to now we have talked about the vectors which are helpful in manipulating the prokaryotic organism. Okay. So up to now, whatever vectors we have studied, either it is plasmid vector, viral vector, or a hybrid vector. So they all were enabling us to introduce a foreign DNA into a prokaryotic organism. Okay, we are introducing a foreign DNA into the bacteria. Okay, we are adding the foreign DNA of source of any other source into the bacteria, and in bacteria, so cloning host were bacteria. Okay, we are doing manipulations in bacterial cells mostly. Okay, so that were the prokaryotic bacteria, but the same technique we can follow for eukaryotic cells also. Okay, by utilizing same method, by utilizing some vectors, we can manipulate or we can introduce the foreign DNA into eukaryotic organisms also. Okay, like plants as well as in animals also. Okay, but due to ethical issues, ethical laws and regulation, we do these manipulation or we apply this recombinant DNA techniques to the eukaryotic cells or to the animal to very limited extent, okay, due to the ethical issues, okay. But to somewhat more extent, we utilize these techniques of manipulation in case of plants. Okay, so we can introduce the foreign DNA into the plants. Okay, so can anybody tell me, with utilizing same vectors which we have studied up to now, like plasmid vector, PUC vector, lambda zap series, or M13 series, okay, or hybrid vectors, P-blue script vector, can we introduce DNA into a plant cell or into a eukaryotic cells with same vector? Okay, getting my question? Can we introduce foreign DNA into the eukaryotic cells using the same vector which we are using to introduce into a prokaryotic cell? No, correct. No, we cannot use. Why? Because there are the reasons. The ORI which we have introduced into that kind of vectors was of prokaryotic origin. Okay, that ORI is not going to multiply. That ORI is not going to replicate within the eukaryotic cells. Okay, so here we are studying about the eukaryotic vectors. Okay, so here is the first thing we have to design a vector in a such a manner that the vector should be able to replicate into the eukaryotic cells. Okay, so first thing is the vector should be able to replicate into the eukaryotic cells, and in that manner if we are designing a vector, that is called as eukaryotic vector. Okay, so there are many. So today we are going to start with the first, that is Ti plasmid. Okay, it is one of the eukaryotic vector which can be used for the purpose of transfer of gene into the plant cells. Okay, this eukaryotic vector, okay, Ti plasmid, we can utilize Ti plasmid to make a eukaryotic vector. Okay, Ti plasmid, it is a naturally occurring vector. Okay, so everyone, this point is to be noted. Ti plasmid, it is a naturally occurring plasmid. We can use this Ti plasmid and we can do some manipulation in this Ti plasmid, or we can introduce foreign DNA into this Ti plasmid and make it recombinant. And using this plasmid, we can transfer the foreign gene into the plant cells. Okay, so we are going in details of these Ti plasmid, how we can make it recombinant, and how the process of transformation occurs. Okay, how actually we are going to transfer the gene with the help of this Ti plasmid, using this Ti plasmid as a vehicle into the plant cells. Okay, so to talk all these things, we should first know the introductory part about the Ti plasmid, okay, from where this Ti plasmid is taken, from where it belongs, okay, and with the help of which process it is able to introduce itself into the plant cell. Okay, we are saying that this Ti plasmid will help us to transfer a foreign gene into the plant cell. It means that this Ti plasmid will definitely going to enter into the plant cells. Okay, so how it enters into the plant cell, where it founds, that we are going to see. Okay, so as we have seen that plasmids are mostly found in bacteria. Okay, rarely they can found in eukaryotes, but plasmids are mostly found in bacterial cells. So this Ti plasmid is also a plasmid of bacterial origin. Okay, so but this bacteria has the ability to transfer this Ti plasmid from bacterial cell to the plant cell. Okay, everyone getting? So here we are going to talk about that bacteria first, this Ti plasmid, and then we are going to actually deal with how this plasmid is made and how this plasmid works. Okay, so you can see here almost before 100 years ago, okay, there were two scientists, that is Smith and Townsend. Okay, they postulated that there is a bacterium, okay, which is a causative agent of crown gall tumors in plants. Okay, there is a bacterium which causes a disease called as crown gall disease into the plant. Okay, so we know that there are many infectious diseases which can occur to plants also. There could be of viral origin or there could be of bacterial origin. So one of the diseases is crown gall disease, which is caused by a bacteria, and in that particular disease there is the formation of tumors in the roots of plant. Okay, so in crown gall disease what happens, there is a formation of tumors in the roots of plants. Okay, so the bacteria which introduce or which is the causative agent of this disease is known as tumefacient. Okay, so there is a tumefacient infection. Okay, these tumefacients are able to infect wounds or damage plant tissue. Okay, when this tumefacient bacteria can infect the plants when the plant is wounded or damaged. Okay, if any part of the plant is get damaged, to that part these tumefacients are able to infect. Okay, and after infection they induces the formation of plant tumor called as crown gall. Okay, are you all getting? We are just seeing the introduction. Okay, then we are going to talk about the Ti plasmid vector. Okay, everyone. So up to now, what we have studied, there is a bacterium which infects the damaged plant, and by after infection, it can induce a disease called as crown gall. Okay, and the bacterium belongs to the tumefacian family. Okay, so this entry of this bacterium into the plant tissue is facilitated by the release of certain phenolic compounds like acetosyringin and hydroxy acetosyringin. Okay, by wounded site. So how this bacteria sense the damage? Okay, we are saying that these bacteria are only able to infect the wounded site. Okay, the site which is damaged, only to that site bacteria come and start to infect. Okay, so how they sense the wound to a plant. Okay, so whenever there is a wound to a plant or whenever the plant get damaged, it secretes a chemical compound, okay, which is phenolic in nature, means having the phenol as a functional group. Okay, and that chemical compound is acetosyringin. Okay, or it could be the derivative of it, hydroxyacetosyringin. Okay, so when the wounded plant secretes this hydroxyacetosyringin or simply acetosyringin, which is a phenolic compound, that is sensed by the bacteria. Okay, so the tumefacients can sense that chemical, and with the help of the phenomenon called chemoattraction. They get attracted toward this acetosyringin. Okay, they have ability to sense the acetosyringin, and this acetosyringin, binding of this acetosyringin to the bacteria, activates some of the other genes into the bacteria, and they start infecting the plant cell. Okay, so in case of crown gall formation, okay, when there are the formation of tumors, it occurs when the bacterium release its Ti plasmid into the plant cell. Okay, when actually crown gall is going to happen, when this bacteria goes on wounded site and it start to interact with the plant cell and it release its plasmid, Ti plasmid. Okay, so Ti is the plasmid present in the tumefacian bacterium, and the tumefacian bacterium start to release its Ti plasmid into the plant cell. Okay, and due to the introduction of this Ti plasmid into the plant cell and expression of some proteins of this Ti plasmid into plant cell, the plant cell forms the crown gall. This is okay. So the thing is, what here we can sense or we can take an idea from, there are some, there is some part or there is plasmid which is being transferred from this bacteria to plant. Okay, so most important thing to be noted here, Ti plasmid is transferring from bacteria into the plants. Okay, so if we introduce our gene of interest, which we want to introduce into the plant, into the Ti plasmid, it can be easily transferred into plant cell, isn't it? So, are you getting an idea? Okay, suppose we want to introduce some gene into the plant, we cannot introduce it directly. Okay, we need a vehicle, we need a mean through which we can transfer, and here we are getting the easy mean. Okay, so bacteria has the Ti plasmid, and the bacteria itself has the ability naturally transfer this Ti plasmid into the plant cell. Okay, bacteria are naturally transferring this Ti plasmid into the plant cell. So what we simply can do, we can take this Ti plasmid and we can introduce our gene of interest into this Ti plasmid, and again allow this now the Ti plasmid is recombinant. Okay, so now we can allow again this Ti plasmid to transfer into the plant cell, and then allow it to infect the plant cell. Okay, so this is the structure of Ti plasmid which we are going to see in detail. So have you all got the introductory idea about the Ti plasmid, where it is present? So it is present in the tumefacian bacteriums. Okay, specifically if we talk, so there is a bacterium called Agarobacterium tumefacium. Okay, what is the name of bacteria? Agarobacterium tumefacium. Okay, so you can see here the name of the bacteria, Agarobacterium. Okay, so this Agarobacterium has the Ti plasmid. Okay, and this Ti plasmid is transferred to the plant cell. So we can utilize this Agarobacterium bacteria and Ti plasmid present within them for the transfer of our gene of interest into the plant cells. Okay, so it's a detailed topic. We are going to talk about the complete structure of Ti plasmid, which kinds of genes are present, and how the transformation process occurs. Okay, what genes are involved in transferring this Ti plasmid from bacterium to the plant. Okay, and into which part of this Ti plasmid we can introduce our gene of interest. Okay, which we have to be introduced into the plant cell. Okay, to make plant cells hybrid or recombinant. Okay, getting everyone? So have you all got an introductory idea about the Ti plasmid, a eukaryotic plasmid vector, which will help us to transfer the gene into the plant cell? Okay, so you can study this topic under the heading gene transfer into plant cells. Okay, how we can transfer the genes, foreign genes, into plant cells. Okay, so I hope you all have got an idea about this.